What's happening, y'all? It's your boy Flan Speaks, man. Uh, Last night we had some good games in the WNBA, man. Had the Valkyries versus the Dream, and we had Phoenix against Dallas 2. Or really 3. This is the third time they played each other, but I would say since, last time when Dallas beat them. But anyway, I think it's about time, man, to crown the Atlanta Dream as serious, as a serious team. I still don't got them winning it all, but at the beginning of the year, I had a lot of question marks, and it was more so not centered around the talent on the team, but more so the heart of the team. And a lot of those questions are being answered, man. Ryan Howard answering the call a lot. But really, you got to look at Alicia Gray. Alicia Gray has really stepped her game up to another level, man. She's really ascended herself up there. You know what I mean? I liked Alicia Gray last year, but I think this year she's really stepped her game up and is ascended to really, we talking about top 5 guard status in the league, man. And for some people, she top 3, and she deserves it, man. So shout out to definitely Alicia Gray for the way she balling out right now. She deserves it all, man. Should have been a captain probably over, a particular person, but, whatever it is, what it is, man. That's why I hate casuals, as I tell y'all, And shout out to Kayla Thornton of the Valkyrie who made an all-star this year. She definitely deserves that as well. And any of those players, man, on the Valkyrie who went there and they looking at it like this is an opportunity, to go do something, because a lot of them not because of their inability to play the game or anything, but because of the nature of the league is being small and there being few spots, so the talent is very condensed. A lot of them, you're gonna get to see what they are on these expansion teams, because whereas now they get to start, whereas there just wasn't room for them to start in other places. And Kayla Thornton's one of the first we've seen, of that type, and she deserves all accolades she's getting, man. What more can one say? Every time I watched her, she was impressive. Now this gets me to the game I really wanted to focus on. Was the Dallas Wings versus the Phoenix Mercury, because that's the game that I watched in real time. Listen, I was not surprised at all about his outcome, what happened, at all. And this is why, I wasn't jumping to conclusions when the Phoenix Mercury, when Dallas went out there, that first game, earlier in the last week, Dallas went out there and beat the Mercury with those rookies. They went out there, started Paige Bueckers, started Isaiah James, Quinterly got the start. And he went out there and put Paige, I believe, at the 3. That's what it looked like to me. Paige at the 3. He let Isaiah James run that 2 and let Quinterly run that point. And he really, kind of wiped the floor with the Mercury that day, with a Satu Sabali and a Alyssa Thomas and a Khalid Copper, right? And a lot of us, I'm just here to jump to conclusions now. All right, now we can go ahead and this is proof, we can go ahead and trade Enrique. This is proof, that these rookies is ready to do it and they look better as a team and all of that. And this is why I warn against going off of one game and making those conclusions, man. You are not what you do in one game. You are not what you do at the best game you ever played. No, you are what you do consistently. That's what you are. What you do consistently is what defines you as a person, as a team, as a player, whatever it is. You're not defined by what you did on your best day. You're defined by what you do consistently. And what we saw was something that didn't surprise me at all. We saw the best player out of both teams, Alyssa Thomas, show why she's my MVP. We're talking about, look at this. They just got the floor wiped from them the other day by the Dallas Wing team, right? Without Dejanay, without without Enrique, all of that, okay? They go out here last night. Alyssa Thomas is without Kalia Copper and without Satu Sabali, okay? And they surround her with Sammy Whitcomb, without a doubt, was hot. She had to step up, and boy, did she. Keani Williams, I believe her name is, who comes off the bench, gave him 17. She stepped up, right? They were stepping in. They pretty much defensively, everybody played great, you know. But for me, it shows Alyssa Thomas, I believe, is the most impactful player in the WNBA. All right? Listen, man. I know Asia Wilson is the best, the most dominant, most personally skilled, dominant player. I know, about Fee and everything, but I'm telling you, you put Alyssa Thomas on the team and just surround her with any level of competency, bro. That team is just raised up, and that's what she showed last night, man. A triple double, and what I'm hearing, this is like her. I don't know, she has a lot of triple doubles. She's a multiple time triple double person. 15, 10. 15 points, I believe, 15 assists and 10 rebounds. Is that what it was? Monster game, controlling everything from pace to, and when people have these discussions about players who make everyone else better in all of those different things, man, it's rare. Alyssa Thomas really does do that, but the difference between her and, say, Caitlin Clark that people talk about, because that's who people would say is probably the best playmaker and all of that. It's usually Alyssa Thomas and her up there as far as assists go, right? The difference between these two players, why Alyssa Thomas is better, is Alyssa Thomas has the superpower of being able to physically impose her will on a game at times, right? Whereas Caitlin's superpower is the logo 3 when it's falling, right? But the thing about it is, Alyssa Thomas's superpower is going to always be present. She's always going to be the biggest, baddest, heaviest truck coming down the pike that was just going to knock you out the way, except for rare occasions, going up against the Asias and stuff like that, right? But physically, she's like the most dominant player out there on any given night. Whereas the logo 3 is hit or miss. There's going to be games where that's falling. There's going to be games where it isn't, And that's the difference. So for my money, the best, I know she's a forward, but the best, point person in the league right now is Alyssa Thomas, man. The best setup person who controls games, who does that work, serves that purpose, that a point guard serves, is Alyssa Thomas, bro. Straight up and down, man. She put on a masterclass performance last night. It was unbelievable. And shout out to Sammy Whitcomb, the Australian shooter. You put her, that's all Alyssa Thomas need, man. One of them. One of them. And, I've been talking about this Phoenix Mercury team ever since Kalia Copper came back. And even before then. But once Kalia Copper came back, listen, man. You allow that team, this is what I'm saying, this is my declaration. If you allow that team to gain 70%, just 70% of the continuity that the New York Liberty have, or that the Minnesota Lynx have, especially Minnesota Lynx, I'm putting my money on Phoenix to beat them, man. And I would not be surprised if Phoenix is holding that trophy up at the end of the year. They put an excellent team around Alyssa Thomas, right? That Connecticut squad was decent around Alyssa Thomas. They actually were good. They were a type of team that was great defensively, especially in transition, which is very, very difficult to create. They had cutters. They had some players that could create. Luana Bonner, who could also shoot a little bit. But then when they added Marina Mabry, you add a little outside scoring. So they gave, I believe they did go up against Minnesota. They gave them all they could handle. But now you got Alyssa Thomas, man, with a bona fide bucket getter in Kalia Copper, who can play both ways when she wants to. A bona fide just unicorn in Satu Sabali, who has earned my respect this year. That girl can play, man. Satu is nice, right? Along with, the Sammy Whitcomb. Then you give her a bench, and then you give her some of them other girls on the team that I'm studying right now, man. Bruh, this team, I think people need to take way more serious than they take, and this team can win it all, man. I can see that happening. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised at all, because I believe top to bottom, they're better than Minnesota. What they lacking that Minnesota has, though, is the amount of time they play together. I believe that's the only difference. New York, I'm not sure if they're better than New York top to bottom as far as players. That one I'll have to think about. And of course, I give Minnesota the edge in coaching. I think Minnesota has the edge in coaching over everybody, pretty much. But for my money, give me that big three of Satu, Alyssa, and Cop over anybody's big three, man. Over anybody's big three in the league. So, we got the Chicago Sky playing today, that early game, that crazy early game against the Mystics today. So, this is a winnable game, man. Chicago almost beat them last time, should have beat them. This is becoming a working theme. So, this should be a good one. I'm interested in seeing the lineup that we put out there. What scares me, though, is Slim, because stupid-ass Tyler Marsh believes in Bantam. If you got Slim against Bantam, you're going to get cooked. Okay, Slim is going to go off. That's a complete mismatch, and I don't know that Tyler Marsh thinks in terms of mismatches and stuff like that, man. I don't know what he thinks. I think he just has whatever system that he has, which I think is based on three-point shooting. I think he just kind of goes with that, and he just, freelances the rest of it. A lot of it has to do with Angel Reese just kind of like taking over and just doing her Alyssa Thomas impression, because that's the player I think Angel should be modeling as much of her game after as possible. Alyssa Thomas, and I don't know, man. I don't know. So I don't like that matchup against them. I like the idea of actually Michaela against Citron. I like that, because Michaela, what I like about her is her body, meaning her size. She's solid, right? And I just like those types of players, like against like a Citron, who's big for, she's pretty big at her position, but she's more of a finesse player, great defensive fundamentals and everything. But I prefer that. If not, maybe Rebecca Allen, but Rebecca Allen is so hit or miss and reckless, and I don't like her on offense a lot of times, her decision making, that I don't know, but I just think Bantam getting cooked by Sykes is how you lose, and if we lose, I think that's what it's going to come down to again. And some of us, man, are being deceived by Bantam making threes, man. I'm just saying, don't get sucked into that stuff, man. That shit, man, I'm trying to tell you, man, that is not everything. It really ain't. Because you getting cooked on the other end, what's it matter? Right? She's not stopping nobody from making threes. Give me a hustler that's gonna I'll take a player that'll hold Sykes down, who can't make a three at all, but just make it real tough for Sykes. I'll take that over a 3-point maker who's getting cooked. But, that's just me, y'all. I'll see y'all around game time. You know what I mean? So let me know what you think about what we talked about today. Peace out.